How are we doing, folks? And welcome back to, I think this is episode 9 now of the series. We're going to change things up a wee bit in this episode. I know previously we were going to stick to booking the full show, but it's kind of time consuming, not from my point of view, but more for the viewing, because the episodes are now up to about 30 minutes long, and I don't really think anybody's really wanting to watch videos at that kind of length for what this is. So I reckon what we'll do is, for now, we'll cut down to just doing the results of both shows in the one episode. And then maybe down the line when we're doing like a TV show weekly, we'll maybe do kind of a couple of episodes just for the shows, and then we'll do one booking the big event. Maybe we'll just do the full booking process for booking the big events at the end of the month. I hope you're enjoying the series. I'm definitely getting into doing it. I'm enjoying it. I've had a few issues. I did mention in one of the earlier videos, I know there was a couple of editing issues. It was a codec thing with the laptop, which I've sorted out now. So right, folks, so we've booked in the mid-month show of War. Didn't get off to a good start, to be honest. This is kind of a placeholder show. This is just us setting up the stuff for the pay-per-view at the end of the month. We only have the one mid-month show, so we're just trying to use that to set up the pay-per-view at the very end of the month. So we get 90 people at the Classic Grand. We're back in Glasgow. We started off, I don't know why we got such a poor rating for this one. We got Grado welcoming the crowd in. He's basically announcing Kenta, Martin Stone, The Amazing Red, all for the Global Conflict show that's coming up. Let's try and figure out why. Just because he had a poor performance, but it looks a bit, it's not usually like him, because Grado's normally a lot better than that, but started off with a 20, which isn't the best.
Disappointing.
Next up with the match of Krieger versus Craig Anthony. It was a segment rated at 24. We put this in as a storytelling match because we've got basically these two guys are in cool momentum, so they're not having a great time just now. But Krieger actually got the win in this occasion. I think this might be his first win. Pretty much we set up a new feud for the top technical guy. It's just kind of mass feuds we're using now because we don't have enough shows to really give a feud proper airtime, if that makes sense. We don't have a weekly TV show, so we're kind of just focusing on feuds that include lots of the different wrestlers, and they'll just kind of intertwine with each other for now anyway. So I set at 24, slightly better segment, still not great. Then we've got a 33, good wrestling and decent reaction from the crowd. Chris Ridgway defeated Ravy Davey by submission with a sleeper hold. You don't see that finish very often. Chris Ridgway had a good performance of 48 and Davey Ravy had a 31. Again, that just gained heat in that storyline there. Then they made Dickie Divers and Noam Dar. Again, a decent match, good wrestling, just giving Noam Dar a win. I don't want to leave him off shows just in case he gets a bit pissed off that we've not put him on the shows. So that was a 35 rating, so that's good. Really good performance here from Noam Dar. And then we had a segment here, so pretty much what's happened here is BT Gunn's come out and he's like, I want to prove that I am the number one contender. I'm the best person to challenge like Chris Renfrew for that King of Scotland title. So I want an open challenge here tonight. I'll face anybody. Liam Thompson's come out, he's like, I'll take you up on that. Liam Thompson's kind of character, his whole gimmick is he's a badass, he doesn't back down from anybody, so he's like, I'll take you up on that. He's come down, he's accepted the challenge, so they've got right into a match. It's got a segment rating of 31, so it's pretty good. And the match was a 32. BT Gunn defeated him by pinfall with a gunshot. Good match, good rating, a 38 and a 34, so it's a good rating from both guys. So we'll take that. Didn't have particularly good or bad chemistry together, so hit or miss. I think we might run a programme with BT Gunn and Christopher Renfrew after the pay-per-view, just to kind of run a feud for the title there. And then again, another pretty poor performance from Grado. I might have to start scripting these ones. He's pretty much just announcing some of the matches for Global Conflict. So he's come down to the ring, like, thanks everybody for coming up to the show. We're going to announce Chris Renfrew is going to defend his title against Kenta. The Amazing Red's going to face Lewis Girvin and Kenny Williams in a triple threat match. Let's make it a ladder match. Let's make it interesting. Make it a triple threat ladder match. And Mikey Whiplash and Martin Stone are going to have a match on the Global Conflict show. So, all in all, segment ratings of 20. I think in future I might have to think about scripting Grado, as that was pretty poor. In both sections we had from him. 20 is still higher than what we would be looking for, but going forward we need much higher than that to get the popularity up. So we'll finish the show on that. Overall we got a 31, which is pretty good still. Held up really by the kind of mid-show period here, which really heated up. We kind of ended and started in quite a poor note. So we shall go ahead and give credit to BT Gunn. Who else? Noam Dar. Yeah, he had a good performance as well. And who else did have had a good performance? Let's give. I can't actually remember if there was any real. There was no real standouts there. We'll give Chris Ridgway good performance there because he's quite new. Want to keep him happy? Yep, happy with that. So we'll finish off the show and we'll come back just for the Global Conflict show, and hopefully we can try and get the best show we've had yet on the show. I really need to update these logos. I just kind of threw them together. Wasn't really trying to do anything special, but we can get them updated at some point. But we started off with the usual Grado angle. He comes out, warms up the crowds, reminds them, didn't spell that right, warms up the crowd, welcomes them to the very first Global Conflict. Did really well this time, 52 rating, which is an excellent start. It's probably his best performance on the mic, so really good start with that. We kicked off with an angle featuring Kez Evans. He's just hyping up his match with Alistair Adams, so he did quite well. The only thing that fell down on is the road agent, but nothing we can do about that anyway. We did use Martin Stone a wee bit for the road agent because he's going to be on this show anyway, so we don't have to pay him twice. He's probably a better road agent than some of the other ones we've got. And yep, Kez Evans, Alistair Adams, pretty decent performance. A 37 for Kez Evans and a 20 for Alistair Adams. Decent match. Probably didn't have any heat, but it was just to keep Kez Evans' winning streak up, keep him going, ticking over. Stevie Xavier was off his game in the next match. It was a decent match between Stevie Xavier and Craig Anthony, won in 9 minutes and 34 seconds by submission. This is a storytelling match because we're pretty much running with the storyline that Craig Anthony just can't buy a win. He just keeps losing matches. But not a great performance from Stevie Xavier, which would have pulled the match rating up a little bit. A 27 still not too bad. Next up we've got Chris Ridgway and Blue King Sharp, and about the great wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. Chris Ridgway defeated Blue King in 14 minutes. I tried a technical masterclass in this one just to see how it would turn out. Went for 15 minutes. It actually turned out pretty well. 33 is not a bad performance. I mean, the two performance. Right, so pretty much we only fall down because the technical match isn't the right thing to feed a rowdy crowd. So because it's a longer match, I take it we should have probably kicked off the show with that. But that's fine. Learning curve, will do that the next time. But a good performance from both guys, and a segment rating of 33 is still pretty good. But it's good to know that we can use them in like a kind of technical masterclass, and it'd be probably a better rating if we place it in the card better. Next up we had Davey Blaze, who lost to Liam Thompson, and about that had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. Decent performance from both guys, 35 and a 32. Yeah, again, road agent stuff, but we're going to just have to get on with it until we can get better road agents. I did have a look, and there's no better road agents that are kind of close to where we are. So we'll have to wait till we're bigger before we can afford a decent one. So we went for a tag match next. Leighton Buzzard and Kieran Kelly versus Miles Kamen and Robert Wishart. Good wrestling, decent reaction from the crowd. I think this isn't the ladder match yet. Segment rating was a 30. Leighton Buzzard, Robert Wishart, both really good performances. Kieran Kelly and Miles Kamen, not decent but not great. So Kieran Kelly and Leighton Buzzard don't work well together as a team, so that's good to know in future. To be fair, that was just a match to throw together so I didn't piss off too many of the guys, to be honest. Debbie Dahmer, we went, she's done cutting a promo. She doesn't think that any of the women currently in the promotion are good enough to take her title. She struggled when going off script there. It was a bit hit or miss, to be honest, but I think that comes with experience on it. And then we had a 4-way match. Anastasia is actually back from injury, so we gave her a win just to get her momentum back up. She defeated Lana Austin, Taonga and Yoki in 10-24 when she pinned Taonga. So a decent match. Again, not a great performance from Taonga at all. She's not been very great since she came in, but decent one from Lana Austin and Yoki. Not great from Anastasia, but she's just back. It was a decent match. Segment rating was a 28. That was Yoki in an off night, so 27's not the best, but she could have been worse. In a superb match, Noam Dar defeated Krieger in 10 minutes and 16 seconds with a champagne super knee bar. Noam Dar was a 43, which is really good. Only let down by the road agent, but a 38 is an excellent show. An excellent segment based on where we are. We are currently around about popularity of a 12, so brilliant. And a good match. We got onto the match with Amazing Red in it. It was a good match. Kenny Williams defeated Lewis Girvin and Amazing Red in a ladder match in 14 minutes and 55 seconds when Kenny Williams retrieved the item. We'll just say, for instance, I know we made it a ladder match. We did that just because we knew it was kind of high flying guys and they would have a good match out of it. So let's just say it's, I don't know, a contract to get a title shot. We don't have to do anything with that right now. Amazing Red was a weak link. Really? Surprised at that. But a good performance from Lewis Girvin and Kenny Williams, and they were actually off their game, so he's rusty. That's probably why. That makes sense, because if he's not wrestled for a while, but at the price he's wanting, we probably won't use him that much, to be honest. Well, kind of for this one, just to give you a bit of the thought process behind it, we're trying to book we're going to book a couple of European guys, a couple of well-known American guys, just to kind of try and make it like a special attraction show as such. Obviously, the bigger we get, the more money we get, we can afford the better guys. So I just used kind of names that were kind of well-known, but not ones within our affordability bracket. So next match we had Mikey Whiplash over Martin Stone. Good heat, decent wrestling. I thought they would have been a better matchup, to be fair, but Whiplash had a performance of 36, Martin Stone with a 27, and overall segment rating was a 28. And then we had the main event, which was Chris Renfrew against Kenta, a Stone Cold Stoner. Defence number 2, it was Chris Renfrew had an in-ring rating of 42, which is really good for him. And Kenta had an in-ring performance of 45, so really, really strong performances for a lot of the people on the card. A 37 segment rating is excellent for us as well. We will take that. And then just to finish off the show, we had a run-in attack on Chris Renfrew. So BT Guns come in. He's just seen that Chris Renfrew put in a good performance. He's beaten Kenta. BT Guns come in and is like, I'm not having that. He's beat him down and he's gone, I want a shot at that title. So we're going to run a program with these two guys. I'm just kind of feud them out for a few shows and see how it goes. I mean, it was good heat, 35 segment rating, so that is pretty good for us. Let's finish the show and see what the final score was. A 38, which I think is our best ever show.
Well done.
I'd need to confirm that, but I'm fairly certain it is. Let down by one of the segments there, just a promo segment, a couple of the 20s. They're good for us, but we want to be trying to be in the 30s. But I mean, considering we did make a few mistakes along the way, it was actually a good show with a 38 rating. So yeah, we'll move along. We'll recap the news and how we performed for the month next. We'll start off, we'll go through the news that we've had over the month. Pretty much, we knew that these three guys were gone. They were just signed for the one deal, the one show deal. We've got JD McDonough leaving, so better known as Jordan Devlin in the UK. He's actually left WWE. The only problem we've got is that when we looked to sign him, he wanted 900 quid a show. So he might be one of the ones that we bring in for a special occasion, but I mean, at that price, still going to be further down the line. Piper Niven's contract has run out, who was better known as, I think it was Dewdrop she was known as in Scotland. Still quite expensive per show, but she'd be an interesting one. She's still on maternity leave, so realistically we couldn't bring her in for another 6 months anyway. Let's see if Joe Coffey's in it, a really interesting one actually, because if his contract runs out with the WWE, he actually only wants 130 quid per appearance, which is probably within our budget if you look at someone with those kind of stats, because he's got really excellent stats, and he's quite over in Scotland as well, so we could definitely use him. I don't think there was anything else in the news that we really missed. One of the guys that we had an eye on, just a European wrestler, really good aerial and flashiness, but he's not very over, but we could have brought him in maybe for some of the shows, like the Global Conflict ones, just try and increase his notoriety in Scotland as well. So we'll check out how we finished the month on size. We went up to a 13, which is good because we were on 12 before that. We need to get to 17 before we become tiny, so we've got a wee bit to go, a couple of months more, and I'm sure we can get there. And financially, we lost a wee bit more money. I kind of expected that because we paid a lot more on the worker cost this month. But I'll be cutting that down. I don't know if what we might do is, we did have a lot of segments on that last show, and I don't know if we actually might cut down in the segments to the show purely because we don't want, or if we use up the more time, the more workers we're using, which means the more money we're paying out really. So if we want to try and bring that down, we try and just use like less workers effectively on it, so we can maybe look at that from next month onwards. Just have kind of shorter shows, just until we get the popularity up, until we get the only thing that struggles is that you annoy some of the workers if they don't get picked for shows, and I don't really want to have a bad backroom chemistry. Like right now it's pretty good, really good actually, 92%. Just a couple of the guys, I don't know how these two guys have got tension, but I mean 92% is pretty good. But yeah, so that'll do us for this episode, folks. Let's check what the next show is. Let's see, we did that was Global Conflict. We had 74 people, which is not bad at all. Actually, how did we do with the ticket sales? We got 500 quid ticket sales. That's not too bad. That was doing a free show in the middle of the month, and then a very cheap tickets at the end of the month. 500 quid, I mean, that's your second best month completely, other than the August show here. So I don't know if we maybe try putting it to cheap for the big show, and leaving it still free for the mid-month show. We'll play about it. It's a bit a case of just kind of finding a balance of not losing too much money and getting the popularity up, so we'll go with that anyway. Next event is Buck Fastlane. I don't know if I'll change the name of that one, to be honest. That was one I just threw in, but not a lot of people know what Buckfast is if you're not from Scotland. It's like a fermented wine drink here. It's quite popular here, to be fair. I might change that up. I'm not entirely sure. If I come up with something else, then we'll change that up. But for now, that'll do us for this episode, folks. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I hope to see you on the next one.